Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the first Open DAO Alliance call for the Renaissance Alliance. I wanted to start off with everyone introducing themselves, try to keep it short, just say what you do and how you can contribute. I wanted to start off with I myself am a artist. I'm a singer, songwriter, contributor for Open DAO, and I would like to reach out to artists who would like to contribute to the Alliance, whether that be if you are yourself a digital artist and you would like to make an NFT project, or you have an NFT project. But yeah, my expertise is more so in the music area. So.
Well, I guess I will hop in here. Welcome everybody. Yonks here. Mrs. Yonks and I work full-time in DAOs, and we love what the Open DAO has going on, and very excited about the Renaissance Alliance. And one of the things that I'm personally passionate about is helping creators own their own platform. And we'll talk more about that here later on. And over to you, Mrs. Yonks, and you can popcorn it to the next person.
Hey everybody, Tyler Yonker here, Mrs. Yonks. Super excited to be part of the Renaissance Alliance. My background is all operations, fundraising, infrastructure, back-end stuff. I'm no artist at all. I am dazzled by people who are creatives and really admire that skill set. Just here to support the team and help however I can. So how about over to you, Tuggy?
Hey everybody, I'm full-time IT guy for a small welding supply company. Not really related to this stuff, but I find it really interesting. So I'm just here to learn and help however I can.
How about, is it Selwatt, or I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. Can you unmute Selwatt? Say what?
Yeah, sorry. It was a mistake. I'm Selwatt from Switzerland, and I'm a film director on DOP. And I'm new in the Web3. I'm in the Web3 since 2 months. My English is not very good, but I hope you guys will understand what I'm saying. And I'm really happy to see what we can build together and to give chance to artists that doesn't have yet. I'm not very good in talking in front of people, so yeah.
No problem. Gerb, welcome to the stage. Could you give us a quick intro, please?
All right, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I'm just here to help creators get their creativity out in the world and become known. And I think that the people who deserve the recognition should receive it. And I think if we all work as a team, we can make each other better. And that's all. Thank you.
Awesome. Rady, welcome to the stage. Could you give us an introduction, please?
Hey, thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, great.
Oh, awesome. Thanks for running this. This is great. I go by Rady on the different channels and Discord. I'm W. Laura Ewer. I'm a multi-hyphenate artist. So that means everything from performance art and acting and producing film creation to NFT artistry. I've been a part of a couple of really successful, exciting drops, also collecting on OpenSea, a couple of platforms. So I'm really excited about Open DAO. I'm part of a couple of other DAOs as well, and really looking forward to kind of stepping up into more of a leadership role within the NFT and artist communities. And I feel like Open DAO might be the right place to do that. So thanks for having me.
Awesome. And last but not least, Matagani, welcome to the stage. Please give us an intro. Are you there? Okay, well, we will come back to Matagani later. Ivory, back to you.
I'm sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes,
oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, perfect. Cool. Well, good to be here. I run a video production company in real life. My name is Igor. And yeah, I've been super excited about the space, but I feel like one of the things that is super lacking is a discovery function for talented new artists, because obviously a lot of them are good at art, right? And that doesn't go hand in hand with doing business or public speaking and all that. So I feel like contributing towards a platform or any efforts that would help talented artists to get discovered would be a worthwhile endeavor. So that's why I'm here and interested in what you guys have to say.
Thank you for everyone's introductions. That is something that I would like to touch on. So we're going to take the next few minutes here to brainstorm about how we can identify a platform for these artists to showcase their talent. So I don't know if we want to think about like some type of form where artists can submit that maybe the contributors can review, or like the Renaissance Alliance leaders want to review, or how we can go about showcasing the talent for artists.
Yeah, and I don't know if everybody saw, we just hosted our first Friends of Open DAO with the Cosmic Monkey Club. That was a draft proposal that the Cosmic Monkey Club bubbled up. And I think the potential of creating a similar type of a dynamic where artists can, potentially come on a live stream and tell their story and do like an emerging artists of Open DAO showcase draft proposal. I think that that's something that would really provide some exposure. And I think I mentioned the opportunity of helping people truly own their own platform instead of being reliant upon a third-party platform, whether that's OpenSea.io or Rarible.com or whatever, the opportunity for helping, because Metagani was saying that that's something that a lot of people don't have the skill sets and the opportunity, like working with the Education Alliance. That's kind of a thought that I had as far as just kind of leveraging the platform, the community platform, because that's really what we are here, is a community. That's our strength right now today. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking and let some other people chime in some thoughts.
Anyone else have any ideas or input?
If I may speak, I would think it's maybe slightly important to review the goal of our goal of helping emerging artists to market themselves. So I don't know if this may be debatable, but in my opinion, I think we should define what or who exactly is an emerging artist. Like, do y'all think that's anyone that is getting involved and expressing their art in whichever way it may be, or does it specifically mean that they have some sort of skill, whether it be subjective or objective? I'd just like to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I would agree. I think there's a huge difference between a person that is just good at art, and then you have people that are good at art and interested in Web3. And the thing is, I don't think there's a way to help the people that are not interested in Web3, right? Like, you kind of have to apply that filter, because otherwise they wouldn't like even show up in the space, right? So I think that is like one level of filtration, which one would have to apply to the people. And then the secondary thing is, like, if they're not good at like marketing or business, they're not gonna go out and search for DAOs that support them, right? So there would need to be some contact point or some discovery function that brings these people up, because all the people that are gonna fill out a form and participate are the ones that are reaching out anyway, right? Those are the people that are on the right track, and that kind of defeats the whole purpose of this, right? Because the most active people would be the ones applying if we did like a form type of thing. That's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah. So maybe we can come up with, because there are people reaching out on like the Cosmic Monkey Club, and they're putting their proposals in, and we're reviewing them. Maybe we can make up some type of packet or something to where they can review, or maybe we can even partner with another alliance like the Education Alliance, because if no one has the education necessary to, make a contract, or like if they're just new and they're stepping into the space for the first time, just some type of like onboarding mission so that they can know what to do.
Ready? Did you have something to add?
I do actually. I just want to respond directly to what was just being said about what sounds like barrier to entry. As I've worked with another open DAO, or rather another DAO that's been open to artists who specifically want to up their game and enter the NFT space. I mean, anyone who's an artist, everyone defines artists differently. And I think there is a line between, okay, who's the artist that really wants to be in Web3 and who isn't. However, I think we want to be a little bit careful before we just start saying, well, if they're not interested and they're not a marketer, then that's not the space for them. I think we need to keep an idea of kind of democratizing the space, because just because you're an artist and you're not necessarily in the scene yet doesn't mean that there isn't a place for you. And so one of the things that I'm excited about for me personally is helping to onboard artists, not just in open DAO, but in general, helping them with that barrier to entry, because there's so many artists out there who are just, they're having serious FOMO, they're dying to be in the space, but they're just overwhelmed because the crypto world is just completely foreign to them. They're seeing their peers doing exciting things, but they're frightened. They're not sure where to start. And so one of the things that I've been working on my own with a couple other like crypto leads is how to bring artists who are not really sure how to get in the space into the space. And so I liked what was just being said about the onboarding, because I feel like part of open DAO success, as with any DAO, is certainly giving people a chance to be heard. And the part of your ownership of your work is knowing how this works. And if you don't understand how to get into the space, then so you're going to be losing out on huge opportunities, especially as creatives. And I think not necessarily every creative, but I feel like there are a lot of artists who, hey, I'm great at art, I love art, but when it comes to the marketing and the business side, I know that's been a huge stumbling block for many artists. And this is not a new thing, right? This is kind of a sort of typical stereotype of like, I'm the artist, but I don't know how to market myself, or I'm not exactly sure how the business works, just in general, not everybody. So I think, I would be excited to help lead the charge for enthusiastic artists who want to get into the space, especially where open DAO is concerned, who are like, what is a wallet? And I don't understand staking. I'm certainly no expert, but as an artist who came into the space, completely ignorant, and then have been part of some really exciting things, I know it's possible. I'd sort of be like, if I can do it, you can do it too. There's real strength in supporting other people who also want to own their work in this type of space, who are just overwhelmed with how to get there and start.
I see Mrs. Yonks has got her hand raised here.
Yeah, just to add to that, a couple of ideas that I think are possibilities that we could kick around are, we could do something similar to the snapshot where they said anybody's got an idea that has 100 likes can move forward. We could do something similar with saying, if you want to propose an NFT or a short film or a whatever, we could have a channel that says kind of show off your art. If people like it, then if you get 100 likes on a piece of art, we could interview you on a live stream so you could present your work, or we could do a panel about best practices for business, of saying what happens if somebody right clicks your art, steals it, and then tries to just downloads it and just tries to represent it. I tripped over that with Jason the other day. We bought a legit NFT and I couldn't figure out why there was the exact same thing that I bought that was so much cheaper. And he said, because it's fake. And here's how you know it's fake. And he actually showed me some stuff I didn't know. So I think a lot of, we could do kind of two parts. One of how do we get artists a bigger audience through a showcase, and two, how do we provide some of that business backend infrastructure so that they get that education ready that you were just mentioning that you had to build out yourself. We could just put it over that. So Gerb, did you have a comment?
Yes, I'd like to comment on Righty. I 100% agree. There is, in my opinion, barriers to entry, especially for people that don't understand or can't comprehend or don't even know about DAOs, NFTs, and crypto. So I think one, if y'all agree, one interesting thing we could do is for the onboarding process, we could have a sort of questionnaire to under like, you know, several questions, and we could come upon agreements of what questions, if y'all agree, so we can understand their level of understanding on NFTs and crypto and marketing their art, etc. So that, you know, I don't want someone to be fully understanding and we're talking to them like level one, so that us and the artist will be on the same page essentially. And then second point is, I think for the people that don't understand it necessarily, I think we could focus on this two things: the simplification of because I think it's a lot easier than people make it out to be, depending on their, I guess, whatever level of understanding they are, and also the benefits, because there, in my opinion, are just countless benefits of crypto and NFTs as opposed to, you know, 10, 15 years ago. And especially on the for the artist standpoint, there's so much potential nowadays. Yeah.
I like it. So structured education, right? That's kind of like one of the points. And the second one would be like a platform for them to promote themselves and to gain a little bit more visibility. So if I may propose, and that's obviously my super subjective angle, because as I stated, like my background is in video, it would kind of make sense to produce some kind of like online onboarding course, right? Where maybe they could like go for a questionnaire and it would like set them at, let's say, one of two levels or one of three levels or whatever, maybe beginner or slightly advanced or advanced, but like doesn't have an idea about maybe the NFT side of things. And then they would get presented, they would have access to certain video content that would cover these things. That's how I would approach it. But then, as I said, I'm a video maker, so it's a limited scope. Yeah. So yeah.
I see Righty's got her hand raised here. Back to you, Righty.
Thank you. Yeah, just as a side note, I have a beginner intro course that I'm working on right now. So I'm happy to help run it, offer it. I'm excited about it. I've had some great feedback so far. So just put that in the tank as something that I'd be excited to offer the Open DAO to anybody who wants to start getting their feet wet in the crypto/NFT space.
Yeah, and just to amplify too, my understanding is that the vision here is that we really need to create a sustainability component for the Renaissance Alliance, and the opportunity to just carry that thought further as far as developing an online onboarding quest, the opportunity to even potentially have a course that we could create and develop and have that be a profit center for the Renaissance Alliance. And, you know, the opportunity to leverage NFTs that could potentially provide like the how to be an NFT artist, and, you know, make that an NFT with this course associated with it. But just kind of planting that seed as far as the thoughts that we need to be thinking about here is creating the Renaissance Alliance so that it is sustainable and potentially a revenue source for Open DAO in and of what we're creating here. And I don't know if this would be a good segue. We had, does anybody have, before we, because we've been doing the brainstorming here for a good 10 minutes, have we captured the thoughts here on the brainstorming? We've got a lot of great ideas, I think. And I love the, I'm a huge fan of KISS, keep it super simple. So I absolutely echo that. And one of the things that I've been advocating through the Development Alliance, because Mrs. Yonks and I have received so much feedback in other communities that Discord itself is an overwhelming experience. And that's one of the reasons that we love this live streaming format is because it creates the opportunity for people to participate in our conversations where they don't even have to be in Discord to engage in these conversations. So it really decentralizes the community that we're creating away from Discord. But that being said, I think, before we digress, does anybody have, and I really appreciate everybody using the raise hand function. That makes it a lot easier for getting everybody's thoughts heard. But if I don't see a raised hand here in 5 seconds, I'm going to bounce over to what I think is an opportunity for us that has received the plus 100 upvotes in Discord. So Metagani, go ahead.
Yeah, maybe one thing, and that's just an idea that popped into my head, right? We talked about some kind of education and then like a platform to showcase them, but maybe like leading by example might be the best thing. Like if you would be able to select like one artist that is kind of like up and coming, but really clueless about the Web3 space, but super well intentioned and kind of like the perfect fit of a person with talent that doesn't have the presence in the space yet. And then as a community, we could uplift that one person and make an example out of that person as of what is possible and what like a community can do. And then maybe, you know, like records that process and provide that to the people that are up and coming. Like, yeah, lead by example. I think, yeah, lead by example. So
I love that idea.
Yeah, I do too.
All right, let's go take a look at that snapshot proposal, or not snapshot proposal. This is the draft proposal, and this is something too. Let me just for the benefit of everybody, because I like sprinkling in all of our live streams. This is what the proposal process looks like right now, and let me make this bigger so that everybody can see this on the other end there. So the proposal pathway: submit your proposal in the DAO proposal chat. Proposal then needs 100 thumbs up for review. So this is what we're going to talk about right now, is the one that was submitted here for emerging artists. Let me see where that one's at, right here from AXN. And this is something that I think that we should bubble up through the Renaissance Alliance, because there was definitely talks here, support emerging artists. So is this something that everybody feels that we should forward the conversation on this proposal process here? I see a thumbs up from Mrs. Yonks. Everybody else say that we Gerb? Like, yeah, nod, thumbs up, good to go. All right, well, I'll take this as an action item and kick this over to the forum. And then, because I think the opportunity here too is to have more solid conversation as far as what this looks like. And we can take it offline as far as getting this, but we'll take this offline and then move this forward within the governance framework. So that basically here we are doing the respected DAO Alliance. This is our discussion of that received that. So we want to help everybody. We know that the DAO, the Web3, like people have said, it's overwhelming, and we're here to hold hands, journey through this. I love this ecosystem. I love how everybody collaborates. So we're going to hold hands and move this forward, and we'll see what the next steps are. I'll create a thread in the Renaissance Alliance so that we can have conversations about this proposal specifically over there. And going back to our agenda, like review immediate tasks. So the immediate tasks over here, I'm going to go to the Renaissance Alliance and kick it back to you for navigating the immediate tasks here, Ivory.
Alrighty, so number one, we have organize yourselves and align the mission of the Alliance with that of the DAOs. Which I feel like we pretty much just went over with our introductions and our mission of wanting to help emerging artists. Flesh out the Renaissance Alliance Notion page. So does everyone have, or can you, Yonks, go over to just like go to the screen on the Renaissance Alliance Notion page just so everyone can see.
Where you want me to go, Ivory?
Or just like scroll down the page a little bit.
Maybe we should just go like when you land on our Notion, going here to navigate. So we're here, the Renaissance Alliance, and then this is our home base, and we're here on our schedule, the first weekly call. Welcome everybody. We can cross that one off the list. And I'm fully expecting that we're going to have more conversations. Notion is a very powerful tool. Mrs. Yonks and I are new to using this. I love tools, and it's something that Notion is widely utilized within the crypto space. Like this meeting notes here, we've got that currently pinned on YouTube so that everybody in the audience can follow along as well. And So what else do we want to talk about right now as far as fleshing out the Renaissance Alliance Notion page? Can we cross this one off the list too?
I would say so. I think it's pretty straightforward.
So begin building resources. We've talked a lot about the resources, and it'll be exciting to see where these conversations go from here. And we've been modifying and update the Alliance's Notion page. So I'm gonna move this one down the list. So create a method for the artists to reach out. Like I think that we talked about over here on our meeting notes, as far as potentially doing something basic right now. Like, and I saw some comments here from Ernest, and this is one of the things, everybody, we do have public commenting turned on. Don't be afraid to use that. That's how that we are processing this right now, and we're going to get better at using this tool. So thank you, Ernest of Gaia, for making some comments here. These comments weren't here when we started this. So thank you for hopping in. And this is an open invitation to, and whether you're watching this on replay, come in, give us some comments here. I'll make sure that we get this meeting notes and agenda pinned on the YouTube for the replay as well. But I think one of the things that could be a task, and if somebody wants to do this, like we talked about a questionnaire, as far as making it easy, and the easier that we can make it for. So I don't know if somebody wants to take this as an action item and own that, and that's something that we could have as a delivery. Any volunteers on that?
I can do it.
Awesome. I'll delegate that to you, and I'll turn this into just I'll do that later. So going back to our immediate tasks here real quick. So create a method for the artist to reach out, righty.eth to own this one. Create a process to evaluate artists. I think that this is something, and I don't know if somebody wants to take this as an action item, like in a Google Doc, I think is the easiest way for collaborating. I haven't found a better solution. So who would like to own this action item, at least to create it initially?
I can evaluate the artists.
All right, Ivory, go ahead.
Would it be possible to, I think that's sort of a key aspect of this alliance, the evaluation process, even though it's essentially the beginning, one of the beginning steps. So in my opinion, I think it may be requirement of more than one person to, like, because I just don't want it to be in the hands of one person, you know, or it could be a team.
Yeah,
I agree. So the expectation here, Gerb, and great, thank you for bringing that forward, is to just initiate, like say, hey, here's an initial Google Doc. We're definitely not going to leave this very important component just for somebody. So the thought is just to create it, and then we can all start using the Google Docs thing to collaborate, add some thoughts in. This is just to kick the conversation off. So brainstorm how to assist the artist. We did quite a bit of brainstorming, and I really liked going back to our meeting notes here real quick. I really liked the thought over here of, let me get back there real quick. Oh. I really like this thought where it was potentially finding and I can't remember, I don't know if I captured this well. Lead by example, find an initial, and I guess that this kind of goes into this emerging artists showcase too. Find an initial artist that we could potentially assist with getting their own platform. Does that capture that a little better?
Yeah, I think so.
And I'm going to just drag this guy right down here because these are really related. There we go. All right, so going back to our tasks at hand. So create a seamless onboarding. So this, just so that everybody knows, this has been a recurring conversation, and it's an opportunity that we really need to collaborate, not only within the Open DAO, because this is something that is a much larger opportunity for the entire DAO Web3 ecosystem. And Mrs. Yonks can attest, this is a recurring conversation that we're having in every DAO that we participate in. And that's something that we heard very loudly in the second half. And it's only going to amplify because DAOs are just barely starting to get momentum. We're all very early here. So this is something that I think can work collaboratively. And I don't know if anybody's in the development alliance here, but this is something that I really think that we should be intentional. And I really liked Metagani's ideas as far as creating some type of quest that exists on like our own website, because the opportunity to build a platform agnostic community. And what I mean by platform agnostic, like I've seen, and probably a lot of people that are involved in other projects or other DAOs or other whatever, that all of the community building is largely centralized around Discord. And like for people that have never been on Discord itself can be absolutely overwhelming. And then when you throw in the crypto and the NFTs and everything else, I mean, and that's something that we already spoke about, but I'm going to stop talking and let somebody else chime in.
Yeah, so I just think that bullet point, it's one of the biggest sticking points in the entire crypto space, and that's hardly going to be solved by one quick conversation. But yeah, I think there's a lot of good work that has been done already, and redoing that work and doing it better, I find it challenging. I first, when I came into the space, I figured like, wow, it's going to be quite simple to actually create videos that communicate these basic concepts in a succinct way, but actually, when you start exploring, people have done that already, and it's still a struggle for people to enter the space. So yeah, that's kind of a tough one. I don't really have a clear proposal on how to tackle this point. Maybe creating like a good, not just a good, excellent resource tree, kind of like a link tree type of thing that points you towards all the different parts of the internet where these problems have been tackled really well already. I think that would be a meaningful approach. But yeah, otherwise I don't know how to really like do it better than a lot of people have done it already. It's just hard. Wallets are cumbersome. It still needs some time.
I agree. And I do want to digress momentarily because this was something that came up here. So this is something like that we have the opportunity of adding to. There's a NFT resources, and I'll put a link in here to that because the ability for us to collaborate right now, this is a subpage under the research alliance. So this is something that we can also contribute to here. Through the Renaissance Alliance for any like good resources for emerging artists, for example.
That's amazing. Yeah,
I did want to mention too that there is a lot of creative and cool things that the Bankless DAO is doing. I think I saw a comment on the Notice page, but it'd probably be something that we should reference before we put too much work into things.
And I see Righty has hand up.
Yeah, I just want to jump in a second about the teaching format, because I think since we know that there are different kinds of learners who learn in all different types of ways, I think there are ways to appeal to certain groups of people who learn in certain ways. So what I mean by that is I think there's certain people who really respond to, okay, here are the steps, step one, and you just write it all out with pictures, and they that really makes sense to them. It's the kind of, IKEA approach of like, step one, put this wallet here. And then there are other people who are like, oh God, please don't give me 5 pages of steps. I need to sit and be able to talk with someone live who is running some sort of a course or class where I can just raise my hand and go, oh my God, what did I just do? I accidentally set up my bank account wrong or whatever it is. So there's the people who are more visual or hands-on, and then there's the people who are just, they're out for a run and they want to hear some sort of audio recording where they're not necessarily doing it in real time, or they can at least sit down at home in a quiet time and listen to it. So I think something that is important to me is advocating for different types of learners and different types of skill sets and making it as accessible as possible. You're not going to be able to appeal and appease everybody, but I think having these kind of onboarding educational ideas in a way that appeal to the most people, that speak to their different kinds of learning and abilities is really important.
Sure. And that's one of the things that we can use the different forums for. So one of the reasons why Yanks and I are really excited about YouTube is because I think a lot of people can digest video in a really different way than they can digest a million conversations on Discord. And the thing about a lot of these formats is I want people to have somewhat of a defined beginning and a defined end of saying, I want to learn why or how to secure my NFT with the back end of it. I don't want them to have to scroll through 8 miles of pages of Discord, hoping to find some relevant information and, that kind of thing. So I like the idea of just putting them in snippets, because it's not just about the different formats, which I think is really important. It's also about giving people who want the information of saying, that's the 15 minutes of information you need. You don't need this other 16 hours of information that's out there. So one of the things that we want to do also with create some key moments, so that if somebody's got a couple minutes to listen to something, if they have a 1 paragraph that they can read, if they can digest it in whatever other format, to make it easy from a time standpoint and a platform standpoint to do. So from a begin building resources standpoint, the next bullet point, Jason, 2 up from that, those are all things in the resource list that I would vote for talking about to figure out who wants to own which medium and who wants to participate in different ways. I don't know that every different way to communicate with people is going to be possible, because it just won't be from a time limitation standpoint from us, but we could always see what people are responding to. And that's the other reason why I like tools that have the ability to metric. We know how many people are watching this thing live, how many people are commenting, how many replays it's getting. If nobody's watching it live and nobody's commenting and no metrics, then we just dump this as a format because it's not working. So those are things I just want us to be open to make sure that whatever we're doing, we're not just continuing to do things without having some tool in place to measure if that's what the community needs.
Yeah, I'm going to just jump in here for a second. I think, just to clarify, I think partly as a neurodivergent person myself, I think I'm thinking of an accessibility standpoint. So clearly we wouldn't want to do things that are not working or that no one's paying any attention to, because that's a total waste of time. But I think just keeping in mind the fact that, just frankly, for me, when I'm on Discord, and I know that I'm not unique in this, but especially as someone who's neurodivergent, I go on Discord and my brain just wants to absolutely explode. And even though I know how it works and I know how I'm supposed to be engaging, it's just completely overwhelming to me. So I think it's not just formats for everybody, but formats, like you said, that are successful, that people are responding to. And so I think I just don't want the idea of who is actually responding to this and how to get lost in the only going to do things that people are really paying attention to. Because I think also certain content, if you make it available, people will use it. It's sort of like supply and demand, right? Because this video is really important to me. I would completely miss out on what is happening right now with this conversation we're having right now if it was just all happening on the channel. I would have zoned out 15 minutes ago. So I really appreciate that you have recognized this as a format that's important, because it is. And so it's really effective. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think the other thing from a diversity standpoint is I'm not sure how much of a deaf community is in art, but that's something that I like about YouTube is we can add subtitles, and for people who don't speak English, they can add in subtitles in their native languages. So from an accessibility standpoint, that way, I think that's important too.
Yeah, and there's already interest in intentions moving forward and this is an opportunity, a call to action. Anybody that is multilingual and you love this format, feel free, because we want to make this as accessible to everyone as possible. So if you're interested in contributing, we've got a place for you here at the Open DAO. So we've got the last 10 minutes here. I think that we've done a great job capturing. I see Selwat raise your hand. Thank you for doing that. Over to you.
Yeah. Do you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Cool. I want to know, I want to ask you guys that are more experimented than I in Web3, what's the place, and if there is a place for cinema industry into the space?
Well, let's kick that over to the Research Alliance. You mean like a more Web3 Web3 platform?
No, I mean a movie created and hosted in the blockchain.
Yeah. I've got some. We'll kick that over to like and bring that offline here. I'll take that as a personal action item.
Yeah, also if you want, you can hit me up on Twitter. I can send you a link. I ran across these guys. They call themselves the NFT filmmaker community. I didn't engage too much, but they were super active and inviting me and stuff. Maybe that's something you'd enjoy.
That's
Anyway.
cool, because there is a lot of things to do, I think, because there is support like storyboard. You can do the storyboard, and then you can make a DAO casting. You can make a lot of things in cinema, I think, in the space. But I don't know what's in yet, if there is movies, if there is production movies yet. And I think it's interesting to brainstorm about that.
Yeah, and a real quick plug for Gabriel Haynes, and I don't know if anybody follows him, but he's getting ready to launch Clipto DAO, and Clip is, like, because video clips are immensely popular, especially, TikTok is basically video clips, and he's the founder and it's just getting ready to launch. So that's another opportunity for people that love doing video clips. But as far as the decisions and the next actions, what else do we have that's not captured here right now?
Well, something that I would like to propose is to add a sub channel. So since there's 57,000 of us in the Renaissance Alliance, we could even break that down within that of saying how many people are interested in movie and cinema in that form, and let's let those people form a community with each other and let them self-organize and share resources and whatever they want to do. So I don't know what other topics there might be, and this is probably for all of you creatives. What are the big topics that you don't necessarily feel like you have another community for? Is it digital arts? What other formats that, whatever, what would you like to have a community, or what formats would you like to have a community around that we can kind of throw up a lightning bolt and say, hey, if you're interested, go meet in this channel and start meeting out?
Yeah, like
What
film channel,
go ahead.
channel, artist channel, such like that.
Yeah, so I think it's really important to give people, there's a great book called The Long Tail that talks about the more narrow you make the categories, the more likely you are to find your audience. So saying what are the top 10 songs is different from the top 10 country songs, rap songs, R&B songs, classic rock, whatever. And then saying what are the top 10 hard rock songs between 2010 and now is an even more narrow. So when you're trying to find your audience, that's what I want to kind of narrow down, so that if you guys can find each other and support each other and build this community out that way. I don't want to make it so narrow that we don't attract anybody, but I'd like, artist is a big, broad community. And so I'd like some subcategories so that those people that want resources can connect.
Yeah, I love that idea, especially for people who want to collaborate or create drops or just, work as teams. I think it's great to know who's doing what and how to get involved with each other, because you're all going to bring different expertise as well. And so certainly like someone like cinema, I might like to work with them because I want to do music. And so I think having those subcategories, I think is a great idea.
Yeah, 100%.
So are there any questions that we have that we need some guidance on, or we've got this as a section here. Gerb.
Yes. So for the work that the team is doing on for the tasks, will there be a location for us to access like the work that's being accomplished, and so we can just communicate and discuss the work with each other?
Yeah, and I'm going to actually go here because, again, this is something that we're going to be very intentional about. We've got this great forum, and this is going to be a plug for our forum too. And I don't know if everybody's joined our forum, but the thing that's fabulous about this forum is that it doesn't even require an email address. So you can join the forum just with your wallet and start contributing here. So I think that this is a good opportunity, Ivory, for us to do two things. We've got these two action items. So besides having the conversation just in Discord, again, this is us being intentional about building a platform agnostic community where you can engage in the conversation and you don't have to come into Discord. So this is something that Mrs. Yonks and I are personally committed to, because we've heard so much feedback from other communities that we participate in it, that the Discord experience can be overwhelming, and that was amplified here throughout the conversations from all of you. So thank you for that. So the creating a method for the artists to reach out, this is something that I think would be a good forum post, and then also utilizing the threaded feature in our Reliance channel or Renaissance Alliance channel here in Discord. So like you can see here, the Treasury Alliance, we've got a couple threads over here. So like the opportunity for us to create a thread here. So have whether the conversation unfolds on Discord or whether the conversation unfolds through our platform agnostic forum, we want to facilitate the conversations to happen everywhere. And we encourage people to leave comments on YouTube. We actively monitor the comments. So there's plenty of opportunities to engage. We want to make this easy and accessible for everybody. Does that answer your question, Gerb?
Yes. Is there a link posted somewhere for that? I'm sorry if you mentioned it already.
Not yet. We've got the action items here. Righty's going to own like creating some type of Google form for emerging artists to reach out, and then Ivory has the action item to create the initial Google Docs, and we'll have that all available in Google or in the Discord in the Renaissance Alliance channel too. And we talked about this at the beginning. I'm going to circle back here real quick to show this is a brand new channel here. It's under open important. This is where you can go to see, you can check the box, and SeshBot's absolutely fabulous. It's a great tool for getting a ping, and we're going to make this super easy for everybody to access. So yeah, trying to make it as easy as possible for people to participate in whatever mechanism that they would like to engage. What final thoughts you got for us to bring her home, Ivory?
I think we covered a lot of great points. I think another action item is going deeper with figuring out the details of the onboarding process.
Speaking of that, Ivory, or any of you, would a mentorship program be helpful of having either like a mini AMA for new artists once a week or something we could rotate, or having people raise their hand if they want to be mentors? What kind of onboarding, higher touch would be helpful?
I like the idea of a mini AMA every week, because then as new people are coming in, they can just join that and then ask whatever questions. And there's a lot of great mentors that we have in Open DAO itself. So I think that would be a great idea.
Cool. Brady, what would you like to add?
I think that's a great idea. I had this thought a long time ago, like wish there was like a My Buddy, like big sister, big brother program for some of this. If you could just get matched maybe with like one other person who has been in the space, even just slightly longer, that you could have a kind of open door conversation with. So maybe not on such a micro level, since there's 57,000 members of the Open DAO right now. But yeah, I think pointing out people.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah, no, it's all right. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. My cat walked across the microphone, the iPad here. Where was I going with that? Oh, so if we can't be matched up like one-on-one, but if we could have certain people pointed out who are answering questions, who are kind of leading the charge as being the person with the open door that's like, there are no stupid questions, ask me whatever you need, we'll get back to it. I love the AMA. I think it's also great to have an opportunity to continue the conversation if it's like, oh, I didn't get my question in, or something happens and you're like, my NFT disappeared. Oh my God, I'm I'm panicking. I think a mentorship would be huge.
Yeah, and we can add some FAQs in as the more stuff starts recurring. Metaganey, you're up.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. And also I think a mentorship process or a MA process is gonna bring out a lot of the issues that we are not even able to pinpoint here, right? If we like put together a panel of like free experienced people that guide, let's say, a new artist through the initial steps of setting up a wallet and creating like their first NFT on, let's say, OpenSea, then we're going to be able to extrapolate the key sticking points right there. And then, yeah, maybe work that into a guide, or maybe simply provide that coaching session to other people that are interested in that, with some markers that point out the different phases that you have to go through. So yeah, I think like a hands-on approach very early is a good one. Can't go wrong with that.
We've been showing some strong support in the audience. I feel really positive about all that we've captured here, and this is something, you know, we're just getting started. That's the thing that's so fabulous is, you know, like we just basically launched around Christmas here like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we've come so far so fast, but we are just getting started. So bear with us here, because we are just we're just getting started. We're building all this framework. There's a lot of people that are contributing, a lot of efforts behind the scenes. So what else you got for us, Ivory, before we call it a wrap here today?
I think that is a wrap, unless anyone else has any more questions or wants to add anything else.
Loved everybody for contributing here. This was a fabulous session, and we've got a lot of work to do, but again, we're all working together here, and that's what I love about this space.
Well, don't forget, if you are listening on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, Twitter, or Facebook, smash that subscribe button, give us a like. We love the engagement. It really helps juice our YouTube juju. So on behalf of Metaganey, Salwat, Tuggy, Gerb, Righty, and our co-host Ivory Yonks and myself, thank you guys so much for joining us. We will see you next time.
Thank you so much,
everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. It's really cool what we are doing. Really, I love it.
So it's awesome.